Bengal politics, and it seems Mamata Banerjee's party, the Trinamool Congress, seems to now be ready to pass brass tacks with election strategist Prashant Kishor. The rift between the two widening amid reports of some problems with the party leader's digital media handle. And we'll try and go across to my colleague Saurabh Gupta for more on that. It seems Mamata Banerjee is going to be holding an urgent meeting with party leaders tomorrow as this public spat plays out on social media. I-PAC has tweeted saying it doesn't handle any digital properties of the Trinamool Congress or any of its leaders. So anyone making such claims is either uninformed or blatantly lying. And the Trinamool should look into if and how their digital properties or that of their leaders is being allegedly misused. So that tweet is out in the open, and it seems Mamata Banerjee is going into a huddle with her leaders also. So what is all this about? Let's go across to my colleague Saurabh Gupta for the latest details. Saurabh, what really is the crux of this spat, what appears to be now a public spat between Mamata Banerjee, her party, the Trinamool Congress on the one hand, and election strategist Prashant Kishor's team I-PAC on the other?
Well, just months ago, the Trinamool Congress and the I-PAC, Prashant Kishor's I-PAC, were working together in a very closely coordinated manner. They, of course, in partnership, and many would say to a huge extent with the inputs of the I-PAC, the Trinamool managed to pull off a stupendous victory in the assembly elections. But in the last few days, there has been rumors, saying that, there was that the I-PAC and the TMC, the Trinamool Congress, had ended their contract. So that, of course, seems to be something that's been in the news. When Mamata Banerjee was asked about, a question on this, she said it's an internal matter. But at this point, it seems that Mamata Banerjee, who's a senior minister in alleged that the Indian committee used her social media handles to endorse a campaign without her knowledge. And this is, of course, the one party, one post announcement that, that the Trinamool has been harping upon. Now, the I-PAC, surprisingly, in a very public manner, in the tweet that you just mentioned, said, what they had to say. And that, of course, is being seen as a very, very public spat between some of the senior leaders of the Trinamool Congress and also the Indian, and the Indian Political Action Committee headed by Prashant Kishor, which is the organization that provides political consultancy, until very recently was working very closely with the Trinamool Congress. In fact, many are saying that, obviously they're still working in Goa, and that's where one place where, the TMC has been campaigning or is in the middle of a campaign ahead of elections, just in the days to come. On February 14th is when Goa goes to vote. But here's what the I-PAC tweeted, and let me read it out for the benefit of our viewers. It says that the I-PAC does not handle any digital properties of AITC official, which is the official handle of the Trinamool Congress on Twitter, or any of its leaders. Anyone making such a claim is either uninformed or is blatantly lying. AITC should look into if and how their digital properties and or that of their leaders are being allegedly misused. Now, where is this coming from? This is coming from, in response to what Mamata Banerjee, who said, that I support one person, one post campaign, where she's believed to have supported that campaign. And then, of course, she says that she wasn't aware or the handle was being used without her consent. So that is where all of this is coming from. But at this moment, for a political organization like the Trinamool and the political consultancy like the I-PAC, which have worked really close together, to be publicly, warring over this is on Twitter is of course quite unprecedented. And at least while nobody is saying, the fallout seems to be on the horizon. And there's a lot of history to this, and I can go on and on about the churning within the Trinamool Congress. Many would say that essentially Prashant Kishor and I-PAC was brought in by Abhishek Banerjee, who's seen as the heir apparent to Mamata Banerjee's legacy in West Bengal, and is widely considered as one of the persons who could be leading the party in the future. And Prashant Kishor is close to Abhishek Banerjee, and there's no doubt about that. And with the help and the inputs of I-PAC, the Trinamool had made certain changes, and in fact, the one party, one person, one post is something that Mamata Banerjee herself also announced many months ago, soon after the assembly elections. But this, of course, the very public fallout over use of a social media handle is something that's quite unprecedented. Even in the political circles of Kolkata, while people are in the know of, certain differences perhaps between the two organizations, this kind of public spat or on Twitter is something that's being seen as unprecedented.
All right. Saurabh, thanks very much. And of course, this is something we're going to be tracking quite closely with you. Mamata Banerjee now calling for a meeting of party leaders also. So, of course, we're going to be tracking those developments closely. Thank you for joining us with that breaking story.